for Work and Family Life, USC's Employee Assistance Program. We have licensed mental health professionals on staff for any issue, work or personal, you would like to discuss with us in a confidential setting, currently remotely via secure telehealth and Zoom sessions. We hope during these unprecedented times, you will contact us and let us support you. My topic for the next 15 minutes is compassion and kindness. Why did I choose these topics? Well, it's something my daughter asked me. During these recent times, we are making decisions every day in every walk of our lives. But have we stopped to run those decisions through our core values so that our decisions reflect kindness and compassion? Maybe we have. But even if we have to stop and think about it for a minute, perhaps some further insight into what kindness, empathy, and compassion really are would be helpful. For instance, ask yourself, have I received, or better yet, have I offered compassion to someone at work recently? What do I need to be conscious of in order to be more kind and compassionate? Let's start with a quick exercise. Have you noticed anyone around you recently who could have used some support, perhaps even for you just to listen to them? If so, how did you react? Did you listen? If you did, how did it feel to offer that support? How do you think it felt to the person you supported? Do you think they thought you were being kind, empathic, or even compassionate? Let's see if we can get a better handle on what it means to be kind and compassionate with some clearer definitions. Next slide, please. Thank you. There are many different ways to practice kindness. We think of nice things to say and do all day, but how often do we actually say or do them? Do you notice when someone could use a helping hand opening a door or putting groceries in their car? How about offering a smile to someone or giving a sincere compliment? What about taking a homemade meal to an elderly neighbor or sending an email thanking someone for an act of kindness? You could tell someone how special they are to you. Or how about refusing to gossip? Now I understand, given how careful we have to be during this pandemic and with social distancing, you might have to work a little harder to find these opportunities to be kind. But I promise you, they are there and you do know how to find them. And kindness doesn't just mean being kind to others. It also means being kind to yourself. We tend to be our own worst critics. So ask yourself, how have you treated yourself lately? Have you been kind to yourself? Do you speak gently and kindly to yourself and take good care of yourself? And if not, why not? Don't you deserve to be treated with kindness and compassion too? Being kind strengthens our relationships and contributes to an all-over satisfaction in life. Kindness is also about telling the truth in a gentle way when doing so is helpful to another person. Receiving accurate feedback in a loving and caring way is an important part of a trusted relationship. There's a book called Random Acts of Kindness that offers hundreds of random acts of kindness. And here are just a few that I took out from that book. Smile and say good morning to someone. Pay it forward by buying coffee for the person standing in line behind you. Let another driver merge into your lane with a smile on your face. Pass along a wonderful book you've finished reading. Take a moment and write down just one thing about either something you've done or something you would like to do for someone that relates to kindness. When you do this, it causes a ripple effect. Someone else will notice or be the receiver of that kindness, and they will be empowered to do something nice for another person and another person and another person. In fact, kindness embraces a lot of related concepts like gratitude, forgiveness, acting with integrity, social connection, joy, and love. It's basically the key to having a meaningful life. Next slide, please. Let's now talk a little bit about empathy. What does it mean to have or feel empathy? When we can identify with someone, we are more likely to feel empathy for them and be more willing to take a compassionate action on their behalf. Empathy, feeling similar to someone, even in subtle ways, contributes to being able to identify with them. An example might be if a friend tells us someone close to them is seriously ill, we feel heart-stricken for them. We can imagine the anxiety they must be feeling in the pit of our own stomach. And we can sense their helplessness at being unable to take a loved one's pain away. When told the friend is going to be okay, we rejoice with them in that good news. Next slide, please. So let's take a closer look at defining compassion. Compassion has that added element of taking action and having a desire to alleviate or reduce the suffering of another person. So compassion essentially builds on kindness and empathy and differs from other forms of helping behavior through actions taken for a person they feel compassion for. You may or may not be surprised to know that compassion is not just beneficial to the person receiving it. Offering compassion to someone has powerful effects on the person giving it as well. People who lead a life of greater compassion seem to enjoy lower levels of inflammation, and these lifestyles seem to act as a buffer against the effects of stress. So, my question to you is, especially now, why do you think we miss so many opportunities to show compassion? Right now, a lot of people are experiencing suffering of one kind or another. We here at USC have amazing first responders. Many of them are friends and colleagues who are putting their own lives both on hold and at risk to help those who are suffering. According to the authors of a book called Compassionomics, here are a few reasons they outline as to why people miss opportunities to show compassion. The first one is they say they don't see it. Possibly, just maybe, we don't have the insight or the emotional intelligence or even just the comfort level to address someone else's emotional needs. Maybe, and with all that is going on, we're being more self-focused than other-focused, and that's understandable. The second, people might say, I don't have the time. How many times have we used the excuse of not having time to do a small act of kindness? But if we think about it, how long does it take to offer a smile, say hello, or hold a door open for someone? This is one, if we thought about it, we could do. For both sides, the sender and the receiver would reap the benefits of that act of kindness. Third, people often say, I don't care. Once again, I'm going to let you off the hook because I could understand that statement as well. We're all pretty burned out right now, feeling trapped, wishing we could just return to our, quote, normal lives. And that means something different for each of us. We are working hard to make sense of this abnormal situation that we have little to no control over. I tend to think that people do care, but the focus right now is on keeping themselves and their families safe and healthy. Fourth, people often say, I don't know how. How many of you, and be honest, might say, I'm not a touchy-feely sort of person? If so, you're not alone. Many people are not touchy-feely people. That's okay. So if that describes you, you can still show acts of kindness and compassion. Research shows people can show compassion through their body language, making direct eye contact, and using facial expressions such as smiling and nodding. These are equally effective ways to show compassion. Fifth, people might say, I don't think it really matters. Think for a minute. When somebody showed you a gesture of kindness and acted in a compassionate way when you were hurting? It mattered then, didn't it? Lastly, some may say they think being kind and compassionate is just a nice thing to do, but essentially, it's necessary for human existence. Next slide, please. So what else does compassion do? Compassion creates human connections. The World Health Organization now considers social support networks to be a vital determinant of health. In a recent article, the New York Times called the health effects of loneliness a growing epidemic. So while loneliness can have negative effects on our health, compassion heals and has been found to be the antidote. The World Health Organization has also found that meaningful human connections were found to be health protective factors that can impact positively the human immune system. Compassionate acts lower our blood pressure. They also promote healing from trauma and reduce the perception of pain, as well as modulate the pain a person does experience in measurable ways. So here's my parting challenge for you. We have the ability, with disciplined, repetitive action, to construct new habits of thought, feeling, and behavior. If every time we are tempted to say something unkind about an annoying sibling, a colleague, a supervisor, a friend, what if we just took a deep breath and thoughtfully ask ourselves, how would I feel if this was said or done to me? So here is a 3-step formula that can gradually advance you to becoming a true follower of the Golden Rule. First, make a resolution to act once every day in accordance with the positive version of the Golden Rule. Treat others as you wish to be treated yourself. Second, resolve each day to fulfill the negative version of the Golden Rule. Do not do to others what you would not like them to do to you. Third, make an effort once a day to change your thought patterns. If you find yourself indulging in a bout of anger or self-pity, try to channel all that negative energy into a kinder, more compassionate direction. When you get to the end of each day, reflect without judgment to see how you did. If something derailed you, set an intention to try again tomorrow. Try to make this a daily part of your routine. After a while, try for 2 acts of kindness every day, and then go for 3, and so on. I want to thank you for your time today, and I wish you all the kindness and compassion you deserve. Thank you so much.